Have you ever stopped and thought, do we ever really understand each other? I mean, truly? It's one of the biggest questions we face as humans. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive headfirst into the messy, fascinating world of language, all inspired by a really deep philosophical chat from Turkey. Let's see if we can find some answers. Seriously, think about it for a second. You say a word, and I hear that word. Simple, right? But is the concept that just popped into my head anything close to the one that was in yours? That little gap, that space between our minds, that's the puzzle we're going to try and piece together today.
So the ideas we're going to be exploring, they actually come from a really insightful Turkish philosophical dialogue. And what's cool is that this entire explainer is, in its own way, an act of translation. We're trying to bridge that conversation over to you, which, as you're about to see, is the perfect example of the very challenges we're talking about.
Okay, so let's get right into it. The first thing we really need to get our heads around is why communication can be so difficult to begin with. The problem really starts right here. If I say red ball, the image in your head is probably almost identical to the one in mine. It's concrete, it's visual, we can both point to it. But what happens when I use a word like, say, secularism, or justice, or freedom? All of a sudden, it's not a simple picture anymore. We're dealing with a whole universe of different experiences, different cultures, and a ton of emotional baggage all packed into that one little word.
Now, if you want to take this idea to its absolute extreme, you have to look at the ancient Greek philosopher Gorgias. This guy argued that true communication is basically impossible. His logic? First, nothing really exists. But okay, even if it did, we couldn't actually know it. And even if we could know it, there's no way we could ever successfully explain it to someone else. It's the ultimate skeptical take, that we're all kind of locked away in our own little realities.
But that's a pretty bleak outlook, right? I mean, we do manage to communicate more or less successfully every single day. So how do we get past that dark view from Gorgias? Well, the answer isn't in finding some kind of perfect language. The real solution, it turns out, is in embracing our messy, imperfect, back and forth conversations. And this is absolutely crucial. See, real understanding isn't built on finding the perfect single word. It's built on the bridges we create between our minds. It happens when we go from just words to full sentences, when we have a real, ongoing dialogue where we can ask questions and clarify things. We lean on the context and the experiences we share. The key takeaway here is that understanding isn't a single aha moment. It's a messy, continuous, and deeply human process. For centuries, people have been searching for a perfect language, something as clean, logical, and unambiguous as math. The writer Umberto Eco even wrote a whole book about this search. But what if the problem isn't our language at all? What if the problem is our expectations for it? We want this perfect, logical system, but human communication is just not that. It's messy, it's emotional, it's all about context. And when it doesn't meet that impossible standard, we blame the language itself. All right, now we get to a really cool part of this whole thing. Remember how I mentioned this explainer is an active translation? We're literally taking ideas that were discussed in Turkish and we're reshaping them for you in English. This very process, what we're doing right now, is a live demonstration of every single paradox we've been talking about. I mean, think about it. A really good translator is kind of like a great referee in a sports game. Their whole job is to be invisible. They have to completely get out of the way so that the author's original voice can connect directly with you, the reader. The more amazing they are at their job, the less we even notice they exist, and the less we appreciate the incredible, difficult work it takes to bridge two completely different worlds. Language is alive, it breathes and it changes, and you can see this perfectly in the story of a single word. Take the Turkish word for good morning, günaydın. Sounds totally normal today, right? Well, it was actually invented in 1923 as a Turkish replacement for the French bonjour. And just 10 years later, newspapers were making fun of it, calling it ugly and artificial. But over time, this so-called made-up word became a totally natural, essential part of the language. It's a fantastic reminder not to be too quick to judge new ways of speaking. And this evolution, it's not just about stuffy, formal rules. Language is also a playground. It's a place where we break the rules on purpose to create new meanings and new identities, especially in the super fast-paced world of how we talk online. Here's a perfect example from modern Turkish slang. The formal, old-school term for a really close friend, a best friend, is kan kardeşi, which literally means blood brother. But over time, young people shortened it to something much cooler and friendlier, kanka. And then, just playing with it, it evolved again into pampa.
So to give you a direct comparison, this is exactly like what happened in English with the word brother. First, it got shortened to the casual bro, and then it evolved even further into the super informal, internet-famous bruh. It's the exact same creative, playful energy at work. So this isn't people being lazy or making mistakes, it's a form of playful rebellion. In Turkish, there's a great term for this, a nanik isharet. It's that cheeky gesture where you put your thumb on your nose and wiggle your fingers. That's what this is. It's a gesture aimed at the rigid gatekeepers of language. It's how people, especially young people, take ownership of their language and make it truly their own. So after talking so much about words, slang, and translation, our journey is about to take one last, really profound turn. We're going to the very limits of language and to the incredible power of what we don't say. The philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein had this famous thought experiment. If lions could speak, we could not understand them. And his point was profound. Language isn't just a collection of words. It's completely woven into our entire form of life, our experiences, our world, our bodies. A lion's reality is so fundamentally different from ours that even if it used our exact words, the meaning behind them would be totally lost on us. We just don't share its world.
And this brings us to a really powerful, real-world piece of wisdom. Let's say your friend is going through a terrible loss. What's the right thing to do? The most rational thing? It's not to offer those empty cliches like, they're in a better place. It's definitely not trying to solve their pain with words. The most intelligent, the most deeply empathetic thing you can do is to just sit with them, to just be present. In that moment, your silence says more. It communicates more comfort and understanding than any words ever could. Wittgenstein wrapped up his most famous book with this legendary line. And really, it sums up everything we've been exploring. True wisdom isn't about being able to talk about everything. It's about recognizing the limits of our words and having the grace to be silent when language just can't go any further.
So we want to leave you with this question to chew on. Beyond all the noise, all the talking, and all the texts, what's the most important thing you have ever understood in your life without a single word being spoken? The answer to that question might just be the purest form of understanding there is.